Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Broken Roads with me, Brennan. Let's continue around Kalgoorlie and talk to the bronze farmer. You're kidding. Bidey made it? He calmly assesses you while squirting out a frankly impressive amount of poo. It's good to know that, even though the rest of the world may have been turned upside down, this at least remains a constant. You again. He doesn't respond. Whatever anthropomorphic traits you projected onto him, he remains, at heart, a sheep. Hey you want this sheep? Not on your life. He's bitten me 27 times. Just get him out of here. Please, I'll pay you. Okay, but whatever you're thinking of offering, double it. Bargain. We're not eating him, bud. That'd cry. Oh, thank God. Here, I'll get you a rope. And some money. A familiar face. If it sends us out of Kalgoorlie, we're not going to head back quite yet. We have other things to do.
Got our hands full lately, eh? Chat soon.
We do. Been a little busy. Let's go check in with Hunter. The Prince. Might just be a book for Lake Deborah. You get a +3 spear for Jess. Have to sell some stuff to get it though. I may as well, right? I can get rid of my hat. I hardly ever use healing items anyway, so yeah, I'll take $400. Honestly, how does the spear compare to my spiked club? $13 to 20 chance of poison. Yeah, a little less damage, and I prefer the knockdown over poison. I'm going to try avoiding talking to anyone of import. Like Mick, in case we accidentally progress the main story. I'm gonna grab this. I don't think it's what we need for Locky. I still think we're going to need this at some point. Check in with a few of the merchants and make sure I didn't sell any books to them. I'm sure that I did. Actually, he has one. Not sure if we've handed this one in yet. Grab it to be safe. Alright, good enough for me. We're gonna head towards that new location, and then we'll head back to Lake Deborah. Oh, does anyone want this hat? Got +1 AP and +1 MP. Right, Ella, Mad. We're still going to be around Lake Deborah, so I'll bring Adam. A raider party right out the gates. Soon to be a dead raider party right out the gates. Nice grenade, nerd. Screw it, takes some burn damage. Voila. Did I loot this one? I don't remember. Quick way to find out, though. Rusty? I'd mind a bit more variety in the random encounters. No +3s either. It's all pretty middling loot. But, so, place to offload all of our loot, so. Not that I think that there's a cap in your inventory. Weight or item-wise. Or count, item count. Alright, new location. What do we got? That's fairly small. But I'm glad we brought Matt along to a brewery. Pretty sure the only time she comes up in conversation is when there's alcohol involved. Kind of shoehorning her into being a one-note character. But I think there's one other conversation we had where we could point at Ella and Mad. I think it was with the guards in Lake Deborah. Well, that's new, I think. So, $40 dues, a purple canvas vest, show off that muscle, grants +1 intelligence, Fricton logger, and some scrap. Good day. You lot sure know how to do a bit of bush bashing, eh? Wipes his hands hurriedly on a cloth. Don't mind the mess. The cleaner's not due for another week. He laughs at his own joke. See, what I brew here is special. Secret. Not many people enter out. So as they used to say, no photos, no videos, and leave your bags at the door. You know, I try, but she just won't stop following me. She grins at her sister. I'd say I follow you around like a bad smell. You've got that covered on your own. Mad guffaws. Ella smiles. Okay, let me see what you have. I don't think there's anything new here. You have your shirt back. How are you able to get ingredients for your beers? I've had to get creative out here. I experiment with different herbs or flowers, and even burning different wood to get interesting flavors. It's not easy, but it's all part of the challenge, you know? What was that about different wood? Yeah, a happy accident once the solar panels packed in. Started using Jara a while back to get the big kettles going. Thought screw it, why not? And chucked a bit of it in during fermentation. You see a smug smile form beneath his beard. He starts nodding to himself. You seem awfully proud of yourself. And for good reason. His smile widens into a mouthful of foul, rotting teeth. It was great. Buy a couple tins and see for yourself. He laughs loudly. Which plants in particular? Like, I've been looking for some desert pea flowers to add to my brews, yeah? But they don't grow around here. I had to pay some guys to go out and find them for me. We have a ton of those. Same with some of the wildflowers I use for dry hopping. When I can't always find them myself, I can sometimes have others bring them in. A couple of the barter crews know what I'm after now. You know, bring me desert pea flowers, and if they're good, I'll share the brew with you. Is this the flower you are after? Legend. Yeah, those are the ones. Keep them coming, and as promised, here you go, mate. He hands you a can of beer. A lot of experience for that. Mate, I reckon that'll do us. I'll be able to stock up all the drinking holes with me son Cat now. A setup like this must require a lot of water. How are you able to get enough with this drought? So He quickly corrects himself. So I've tried a few different methods. Used to collect rainwater, when that was a thing. Also have a system for purifying groundwater when I can get it. That's also gone the way of hen's teeth. So yeah, Dewey sometimes pass by here. I have to do the odd run if a barter crew hasn't brought any in. Hey, he squints one eye your way. You wouldn't have a few liters to spare, would you? I'll pay. Cash, or in kind, if beer is your thing. Excuse me. I'd like to book a room. As always, if there's a tavern or inn you can rest at, always do it. Oh, we go inside now. Glad I did that. I wouldn't have thought to sign into the garage during the day. Ben the Brewmaster. Hope he doesn't mind us stealing his gold and $50 dues. Couldn't stay away, could ya? They never do. Alright, gotta go, bye. So he asked about water, but we couldn't actually give him any. Well, we should have a few more books to give to Talia in Lake Deborah. So we'll head back and do that. And while we're there, we could possibly get the tools for Lily Petrovich, but I think... I mean, her quest is done, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that. We'll try. I'm sure having her proper tools instead of whatever we scrounged up would be better for her. I'll throw that out in front of us. Well, that damage reduction sure is coming in handy. Not sure why he was trying to sprint. He was right beside Mad. Unless he's trying to run away. But I don't think we've seen an enemy do that before. And some animals have a healing mechanic. I don't think the drop bears do. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen them do that, but the combat wombats and dingoes do. Don't think the Perus do, though. At least as far as I can recall. It's been a while since we fought kangaroos. Also, the watchtowers might be done now. Let me see if it actually makes a difference on the map. Yeah, there's one there. There. Cool. Everybody's outside. Perfect. I found some more books. Here's Metaphysics and Morals, Prince, and Morals and Legislation. Amazing. You've been such a great help. Let me know when you're keen to dive into any of these writers' works with me. Alright, which one caught your eye? Bentham's Morals and Legislation. What a doozy, and so influential. Basically the first thorough description of utilitarianism, even though Mill later, quite literally, wrote the book on it. Bentham's basically saying that what's right or wrong depends on whether it makes most people happy, not some superficial notion of happiness, but specifically the presence of pleasure and the absence of pain. That's more along the lines of hedonism, is it not? Using this as a way to define and assess laws, policies, and even basic human interactions allows us to evaluate their utility. Guides your group to ensure you are all following. And here utility, simply put, means how beneficial someone's actions or decisions are, measured by how much happiness or unhappiness they lead to. So hedonism is often lumped into just like sex and things of a more of a carnal nature, but it's more... Happiness is how to live your best life. Like, you live your life to pursue happiness and to be happy. Kant's Metaphysics of Morals. So, Metaphysics of Morals. She pauses to gather her thoughts. There's plenty to discuss about this one, but it basically suggests that what is right and wrong should be determined by rational principles and guided by duty, not consequences. Kant came up with what he called the categorical imperative, which is meant to be a universal moral law. So that's what the course I took on philosophy was all about, was determining whether or not there is a objective universal moral law. Kant also emphasizes respect for individual autonomy and the inherent worth of rational beings. It's not really regarded as a humanist book, but you can likely see some overlap. So personally, I do subscribe more to the hedonistic philosophy. I'm not a philosopher by any means, but a little bit that I know of it, I would say I'm more of a hedonist than most of the other ones. Because I do think happiness is the ultimate end goal for a person. Machiavelli's The Prince. Now, of course, I think if you can make other people happy as you go, all the better. The grandfather text of Realpolitik, of having a principle of rule based on practical or pragmatic considerations, more so than concerning oneself with what is the just or morally right way to govern. A fundamental work in the acquisition and maintenance of power. Reading it is really the only way to understand how Machiavelli didn't actually advocate for rulers to be tyrannical authoritarians, despite what his reputation might lead you to believe. Nice? Merciful? Definitely not. But he's also not a proponent of unscrupulous rule. It's far more complex than that, and more accurate to consider his work an analysis of his own observations of leadership than a guidebook on how to rule. So then we have 2 more books to get her. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Oh yeah, while we're here, let's go and speak to Brennan. Oh, and Brooke. I also believe in doing good for other people as well, not strictly a hedonist, but I guess you could argue that doing good for other people makes me happy, so that's not too far off. I do kind of wish they would have spread out the philosophies a bit more throughout the game. They kind of lumped them all in this one area. Hello again, man. His beaming smile radiates warmth and affection. I want to talk about trade. Uh-oh. There's a big grin on his face. Mira winning you over? You seem pretty opposed. Why is that? Simple. This place can only sustain so many. We're making it into our paradise. Sorry, I thought I said our own paradise. But we won't survive if everyone knows about it. Mira and Doug, for that matter, can't cotton on to the fact that we can only do so much here. We have something amazing, no doubt about it. Hell, you saw it for yourself. But those two don't realize how delicate our situation actually is. I wish we could help them all. I truly do. But word gets out about what we have. This place goes to buggery. All of us will be stuffed, broken. And those who come seeking it will be too. You shouldn't trust Mira and Doug. Yeah? And why's that, mate? Mira's plotting to take your position. She's had me stirring up support and getting the community on her side. Mira? No, mate. Sounds incredulous. Are you serious? He sighs heavily. You think you know someone, then they just... He scrubs his face with his hands. Gotta keep it together. We can still salvage this. We have to. He looks at you, gaze clear, though wounded. If they won't talk to me in private, it'll have to be public. We'll have this out right now, one way or another. He pauses again. When he speaks, his voice is a whisper of what it once was. So I think letting him know is still the best course of action, but he needs to step up and become a little more stern. Thanks. However this works out, man, you had the courage to come to me, which is more than I can say for the people who I thought were my friends. You want to stay, you'd be welcome. But if you don't, given all this, I'd understand only too well. He shakes his head again. Okay, come on. Let's get this over with. I travel to Lake Deborah, which is where we already are, but I understand it means outside of the current cell. The mood is tense as Brennan prepares to address the community. Right, so here's how I see it. She shuffles uncomfortably, her usual confidence gone. We got a great thing going on here. A great thing. Y'all know what the world is like. Every one of you. Of course, no one's gonna be happy with everything all the time. But it could be a lot worse. A lot worse. He's addressing the crowd, but it's clear he's locked eyes with Doug. He scowls, hands on hips, but says nothing. I know you're dissatisfied with how I've been running this place. If anything, I appreciate that you wear your heart on your sleeve, Doug. He turns to Mira. But what I don't appreciate after everything I've built here is what amounts to a bloody mutiny. Mira, I know. I know. Brennan, She's about to protest, and her demeanor changes from shock to pure loathing as she turns towards you. You knew what was at stake. How could you? I was willing to listen. You somehow took that for loyalty. We've got a lot of issues to hash out, and too many people involved to keep this discussion small. You've all got your complaints, so let's hear them. Five of you can barely pull water from the earth, so how are you meant to do it for all these people you want to roll in? Why couldn't those traders bring their own water and knowledge of any more lines just under the surface? We share what we've got, like a real community should. The silence lasts for many heartbeats, and you feel many eyes on you, including those of your companions. If you're struggling, isn't it clear you need more people with an affinity for water? She's watching you intently, waiting for you to speak. Westonia's gone, Brennan. Burned to the ground just like Brooke did. No one's coming with your supplies. Not anymore. We need more trade. We're gonna have to use Denny's apples and oranges to keep the lift running. Why you always gotta bring up me crops? He asks without a sliver of mirth in his tone. Okay, we've all heard enough. The crowd settles uneasily. 10,000 experience. Falling into a troubled silence. You're done for the day. Let's call it a win. We can pick this up another time. No rush. In the look Mira and Doug exchange. You're not so certain yourself. Another 8,000 experience on top of that. People gradually drift back to their assigned tasks, and the day moves on. Did we actually do anything? Alright, 20 strength. We're like super strong. Alright, more barbican. Let's do a couple points in leadership as well. Alright, Ella, more agility. And vigilance. Med, also more agility. And opportunist. I think that went up again, right? Or was that at 50% before? I didn't actually look as I leveled that up. More agility, and I guess leadership. All companions gain +5 initiative at the start of combat. A pretty good little buff. Biology's finally maxed out on him. Keep putting points into Deadeye. And awareness. Alright, well I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll speak to everybody around Lake Deborah. I don't think we actually resolved anything. At least it didn't feel like we did. But we'll see. We still have a couple books we have to find for Talia. There's something else I wanted to do before we went back to Kalgoorlie. I don't remember what though. But I'll mull it over off camera. Either way for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.